What up? Welcome to another episode of the Finn's Tailgate with your host, El Capitan. Tonight on the tailgate party that never seems to stop. There's a couple things going around. A couple of good articles have come out. Media's starting to talk a little bit more because the time is ticking. And Tua Tagovailoa still isn't signed. And now there's, listen, we heard this weeks ago about you need to pay him. Market is what the market is. They're disrespecting him. Maybe. We're going to look into some of the disrespect that might be going around on both sides, right? But also, we're going to ask some of the other questions that I don't think anyone's really thinking of. Like, will Tua hold out? What does that mean? How long will he hold out? What type of impact is that going to make? How does Mike McDaniel handle this? Does Chris Grier crack under the pressure? I don't think so. I mean, we're heading for a potential calamity here. And, it's like the calm before the storm in some ways. Now, it could never come. We could just completely miss it. Hurricane bearing down on us, as a lot of us Floridians know, and then all of a sudden just hikes a little bit of a turn. Catch some strays, catch some storms and stuff, but about 3 hours north of wherever you are is getting obliterated. And that happens. That could be us. Or we could be in the eye of the shiticane, which I stole that line from Trailer Park Boys, from Leahy. If y'all don't watch Trailer Park Boys, I'm sorry. I love Trailer Park Boys. I think it's a great show. I've watched it about 10 gazillion times. But we don't want to be in the eye of the shiticane. And what does that mean? What does that mean for the team? What does it mean for the coaches? We're going to ask these questions. Also, what are the Dolphins really trying to offer? We can only speculate now. Been tight-lipped in the office of the Dolphins these last couple of years. Really tight. Players still leaking this, that, and the other for us every now and again. But as far as the office goes, they plugged up all them leaks. Remember, I mean, it's been pretty plugged up. So we don't know what's going on. But there is speculation. Mainstream media, news, talking about it, all that good stuff. And we're going to get all into it. We're going to ask the questions. We're going to speculate. We're going to pry. We're going to get right into it.
Turner Yell makes the stop in the secondary for Denver. 1st and 10. The fake. Good. Block in there, and down it goes. Caught at the 30. This is the dynamic throw. He's in for 6. Tyreek Hill. Touchdown.
To your hands, a plan your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be fucking sour, take a cold shower, scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder, and all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off, it's these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it.
Chia boy, hit the like button, the thumbs up button. The algorithm needs to be massaged. So hit the like button, guys. Subscribe if you're new, become a member, support the channel. All that good stuff. Shout out to everybody who got in here. Marinos go in here early and often. What's up? Jose in the crib. What's good? Flava J, member in the house. What's up, Flava J? Resident Bills fan. I'm not reading that. Can't make me read that, dude. To Tuesday. What's good? Daniel Barry Sports in the house. Red, White, and Bills. Hello, Sean. Mudbone. What's good, homie? The Shake Money, homie, in the house, as you guys would have guessed it. What's up, Shake? G in the crib as well. Welcome, G. And Cap for life. Cap for life. We gotta get that rescheduled. Let's shoot for this coming weekend. All right. Let's try to get it done because I'm gonna be going somewhere at the end of the month. And now that we're through the 4th of July and all that good stuff, shout out to everybody. Hopefully you had a good 4th of July. Celebrated freedoms. What little we have left in this Orwellian America we live in today, where nothing seems to fit. My eyes deceive me all the time, but that's a topic for another day. And IMAX, what's up? Salute, homie. So, all right, hit the like button again, hit the thumbs up, get it in there. We are 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks away from official start of camp. And as everybody knows, every Dolphin fan anyhow, actually every sports fan, because now at this point with players like even Trevor Lawrence getting signed to a deal, the talk of the town is Tua Tagovailoa. and rightfully so, right? Like Dak Prescott's getting a lot of the holler for a dollar. But Dak's gotten paid too. And then there's like Dak's going to reset the market, which I hope the Cowboys do reset the market with him and they can continue to be the organization that spins its tires, have all the potential and never can get over the hump. Who does that sound like? What does that sound like? I don't know. Sounds eerily familiar. And of course, Michael K is going to do it. Tuna, get a contract yet? Or will he have to apply for Section 8? Anyhow, totally. This is what Michael K does. He throws me off my game. Like I'm cranking it. I'm going, dog. I'm getting it. And then he just donates some nonsense and completely spins what I was doing. What up, Bryson? It's good, dog. Anyhow, so Dak Prescott still getting some love because there's a lot of talk about how great he is, how good he is. You measure his numbers and his abilities, everything you could think of. Dak Prescott's been a good boy. He's a good guy. I've never liked Dak Prescott. I see the talent. I see how good he is. I just never saw. I never watched Dak Prescott. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, right? Because in all the years Dak Prescott has played good, he never had nothing like Cameron. What the hell's his name? Cam Newton. Like a type of run like Cam Newton had. Like holy cow, dude! Cam Newton was unstoppable for a while there. He was so good. He doesn't wow you like Lamar Jackson. He doesn't wow you like Josh Allen wows me at times. He doesn't have the wow factor. And is that worth, I mean, his numbers, his efficiency, and yeah, I get it. He's a big son of a bitch. I know all kinds of stuff. I get it, right? Like, I've seen him do some shit, right? I'm not saying, I'm like, yeah, it just, But get it how you live, right? You're going to get $60 million a year, like I keep hearing, fine. And now, and relative to Tua's in the forefront of it. Again, playing on his 5th year. While Jordan Love not so much getting the type of coverage that Tua is, again, rightfully so. Jordan Love's got what, like a 10-game fucking sample size last year or something, or whatever the hell it was, a 1-year sample size. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Jordan Love's got some, some good shit on him, right? Like, I think he's a good quarterback. But here's the thing, right? With all three of these quarterbacks, all three, I see the great moments, the good moments, the potentials. But just like the other quarterbacks I was naming earlier, like, where's the wow, right? Where's the sparkle? Where's the magic? Where's Now, I confess, right? Haven't watched enough of Dak Prescott and certainly not enough of Jordan Love. And I've seen Jordan Love play fucking pretty dazzling. But again, Jordan Love, very small sample size, right? Dak Prescott, yeah, he's played for like 8 years now? You could probably put together quite the hell of a highlight tape. But where's it at when I need it? Right? Where's it at in a fucking playoff game? Where's it at in a championship game? Where's it at in a Super Bowl? And look, I get it, right? Like, there's plenty of people that don't have it in a Super Bowl. Again, I think that's what's holding Tua back too. Where's the dazzle? Where's the Sports Center #1 on the top 10, da-na-na, da-na-na, where it was just dumb? I've seen him do some pretty sick shit, right? Like that fucking fake pitch front hand pitch was legendary. Just how cool it was played. Everything looked so perfect. How he was going to hand the ball off and the defense sniffed it out, and then it was just a shuffle pass to the front, little shuffle, and Achane was there and all the blocking. But that's a design play. Like, I'm not saying that Tua didn't do it at a great job that I will marvel at, but I'm also saying, like, where it finna be. And don't get it twisted, right? I'm really talking about what if it was there, right? Why, if it was, these contracts would have gotten done. Jordan Love, if he had 2 years of dazzling, would be done. And Jordan Love, granted, sat behind Aaron Rodgers, right? Kind of sucks for him because he didn't get his opportunities because he's sitting behind a Hall of Famer. Is what it is. I can't control that. Tua got injured, cut short last season. Maybe if he didn't get injured the season before last because of concussions, and maybe if they got into the playoffs, maybe some of these moments would really stack. You know, I get the statistics stack. Like Dak. Didn't even mean to do that. Oh, shit, I'm on fire now, dude. Stack like Dak. Didn't even mean to do that. I've been listening to a lot of rap lately, apparently. Fuck. But, again, where is it especially when you're talking about Dak, where has it been since he's been making the fucking money, right? Like, and you can give me every excuse, right? Every excuse as to why there's shortcomings. I can give all the Dolphins excuses. Injuries, banged up at the end of the season. First of all, I don't want to fucking hear how banged up Raheem Mostert was, how banged up Devon Achane was, how banged up Jalen Waddle was. I don't want to hear it. If you're dressed and playing, banged up ain't an option. Guess what? It's the last game of the year on a 17-week season. Everybody hurts. It's an equal opportunity pain for everybody out there. Don't give me the excuses of being banged up. I hate when fans say that because you're just use a bitch. Use a bitch if you be talking about grown men that get paid a lot of money to perform a job that is inherently physical, that they've been fucking playing most, if not all of their lives, to the insurmountable surprise to us all that, oh my God, we're banged up and it hurts to play the game now? That's a valid excuse? Fuck that, bro. That's a loser mentality. That's why this franchise continues to spin its wheels. A la Dolphins, a la Cowboys. I don't want to be on the spin my wheel carousel. What's up, Dolphin Don? Hit the like button. Crypto in the hood. What's up, Crypto? Salute, Anthony Manzano. I see you. I don't know if I shouted out the homie Mudbone yet. I don't know if I did. I do know Bishop in here. Dak is good, can operate full scope traditional offense. Yeah, I got it. But Dak is so fucking good. How come I've only seen him fucking look like Tony Romo? It's been the same type of shit. Actually, Tony Romo played in bigger fucking games and more of them. Granted, he'd fucking fuck that shit up in the biggest moments too, but Dak Prescott can't even get to the moment. Sorry. Can't do it. Can't. And neither has Tua, right? Yes, it is. Everybody hurts. That's right. I can sing, motherfuckers. I sing that shit, Crypto. You ain't the only one who can sing in the shower. Anyhow, this offense would elevate Dak. Sure, right, fine. Okay, but guess what? Dak can't afford this offense. Case in point, what I'm trying to avoid. Dak Prescott has held his team that gave him a contract last time so much into a hostage mode that they're rolling out. I think Dak is counting for like 68 million on the books. I know it's north of 60 on the books that they haven't been able to figure out a way to manipulate the cap hit that is crushing their organization right now. And he wants to continue this trend. And what does he prove to earn that he can do it with a offense that's not as good as Miami's, but as good as what the fucking Cowboys have had with their great rushers, with CeeDee Lamb, with weapons? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? This is what I'm trying to avoid with the Dolphins. And it's what Chris Greer is trying to avoid, too. It's what the Miami Dolphins are trying to avoid. And it's why I believe that they are shooting more towards the contract equal to Tua Tagovailoa's contemporaries. You're like, contemporaries, Capitan? What do you mean by that? Well, I'm going to tell you. Contemporaries like Joe Burrow. You're like, whoa, Capitan. That's fucking Joe Burrow. That's crazy amount of money. Contemporaries like Justin Herbert. Whoa, Justin Herbert, that's hundreds of thousands. Contemporaries like Jalen Hurts. Where Tua and his people, I think, with the statement, the market is the market. Sure about that, Bryson? Maybe he's right. I think I don't know. I'll have to look. The dead cap money is what I'm looking for. The actual cap hit, not the year, but like the money, because they put money onto that last year in the front. They backloaded it. I'm pretty sure it's over 68 that they're hitting. They can't clear up the remainder. They're going to have to pay 55 million, but there's already money taken out of their overall pot. If it I could be wrong. Either way. What's up, D-Rod? What's up, Michael Desiree? Says 9 picks in the draft last year. Hope we get a Lombardi trophy. This is no excuses. Imagine we get there. We get better every year. I mean, listen, Michael, I'm all about. There you go, Bryson. Dead cap 66. So that means they're carrying 11 that's already been paid in previous years to him. And the new hit is 55. That means 66 million out of their yearly budget this year on their total cap number is gone to one player. And that's how dead cap works. So, anyhow, so I think the Dolphins are trying to look more in the direction of the contemporaries like the Jalen Hurts, the Justin Herberts, the Joe Burrows, even being on the high end. While Tua is looking at more of what quarterbacks have gotten. And even, listen, even Trevor Lawrence, because I'm telling you right now, the Trevor Lawrence deal is a steal of a deal for the Jaguars right now, because they're essentially backloading years 4 or 5 of the contract and carrying dead cap for that contract into years 6, 7, and 8, which, you know, technically he's not on the team, but they'll figure it out, a rework later down the line, while carrying minimum years during the 2 years he's got, the fourth year, the final year's contract, and his fifth year option, plus 3 more years now. So they're going to have 5 years of low cap hit. And it's just stupid when you spread it out, because the reality of the matter is the Dolphins, and this is what I'm going to get at. The Dolphins want to write up a deal for the cost efficiency of a 7-year contract. And I know everybody's like, what do you mean? So Tua's contemporaries, Herbert, Burrow, not Hurts, and I'm going to tell you why Hurts is super important to this. We're going to put Hurts over here, but Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence, all 3 of these quarterbacks, quote unquote contemporaries of Tua, that the Dolphins want to hold him to that standard for, all got paid in their going into their 4th year. Which, whatever number you want to put on that, for $275 million and yada, 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 yada. And it's written in a 5-year extension. Everyone's like, oh my God, he's getting $55 million a year. Blah, 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 blah. The number doesn't equate that they're reporting on. It's like a Fugazi type figure, because that 275 and whatever amount in guarantees includes the 4th year and the 5th year option of guarantees, plus now 5 more years of guarantees in a 7-year new deal, which some of the teams are making a 9-year spread out. So the cap number hit at the most for all those players that I've now talked about is Joe Burrow at $42.3 million on average a year, guaranteed, for the 7-year new deal. Now, how they choose to break that up and finagle it, most teams chose to have the first 2 years and then 3 more years, and then the final 2 years of the deal of the 7 years. They are going to probably go back to the table because there's, high cap hits. But the cap continues to go up, so they might not. Maybe there'll be even a better deal when that comes around. My point is, right, it's a very deceptive type of system. And the Dolphins are looking to keep Tua in the ilks and guaranteed dollars on probably a 4-year, maybe a 5-year extension. That'll be a 6-year deal. And they want to pay him an average of whatever, 41 million, 42, 43 million a year. So let's just look at what something like that would be, because I could be wrong. Let's see, 43 times 6 equals. So that's $258 million in guarantees. I don't think that's what they're offering him. Because the funny part is, now I told you I was going to get back to the Jalen Hurts deal, right? There's this new term, guarantees and then guaranteed at signing. And there's these benchmarks that teams are playing with to essentially only be on the books for like Jalen Hurts is on the books for a guaranteed $110 million. That's all he really got guaranteed. Now, written in guarantees over the life of that contract, he can get upwards of whatever the remaining amount was. I forget exactly what it was, but we're talking $70 extra million or something stupid like that, right? And the team finagled this contract in this manner. I think the Dolphins, in the minutia of it, are trying to write in a deal of like $100 million guaranteed at signing, and then, roughly 185, 190 million with the guarantees type of stuff. But the number people are always looking at is like a 50 million or more a year club. That's $265 million contract. They could say, yep, we're going to give you a 4-year, $265 million contract. And, in reality, they'll report it as 290 or 275 million or whatever it is, and they'll add 4 more years, but take the total of the 23 million he's already been guaranteed and call it a 4-year extension on a 5-year new deal where he's making an average of 50 something million a year. And that'll be the number that'll be, he got what he deserved, yada, yada, yada. And maybe so, right? But the real number will be guaranteed at signing, and then the benchmarks of what types of outs the Dolphins have. And I think the Dolphins are writing in a per game type of thing where, Tua's people are probably like, look, we want those benchmarks to be, on the 53-man roster by this date for next year's bonus, on this for that, and then bonuses are different than that. Those are where beyond guaranteed dollars. I think the Dolphins are wanting to write in, well, guaranteed X amount of dollars for 2024, and he can get the guarantees for 2025 if he's cleared medically healthy in March, right? And I don't think they want to play that game. I think they want to try to, for more ways than one, to protect themselves and their client Tua with injury guarantees. But the teams that's not outside the realm of what teams are doing. A lot of teams are putting the month of March as you got to be ready medically on this football team to get a bonus. I think the Dolphins are taking a heavy amount of the guaranteed dollars, which is probably somewhere like 190 million plus. They're going to put a lot of those dollars into that March being healthy, clearing the. And here's another way teams kind of fuck players, and I think Athletes First knows this. Being medically cleared by a doctor doesn't mean you win. Being medically cleared by the team doctor. Biased? Probably a little biased. But again, if I'm having to medically clear you because you got injured via concussions or a broken bone or what have you, right? You need to be cleared through the doctor. You didn't finish the season because of something, and I gotta run you through the system and see if you're gonna be ready. And I get it. You'll probably be ready for week 1, but teams are figuring a way to make sure that you're ready, a couple months after a fucking whatever the season ends. And rightfully so, because these contracts are becoming so inflated, and what's killing organizations and not just organizations, just think about the players, right? Say you're on a decent team and you're on like a young team and you're like an older cat, right? And you guys are kind of vibing. You're like, oh man, we're going to make some little bit of noise. And then, a guy gets injured and, he's a dude, he makes a bunch of money, but he gets injured and it holds the team back. Now, I'm not saying that those guys feel some kind of way personally to the guy that got injured. In fact, more often than not, they empathize with him being hurt. But morale isn't good either. Like, the team has to think about itself. I can't allow myself to be in a situation where my highest paid players are injured and don't play the end of the season, and it costs me success as the team. And then I'm still going to pay them this exuberant amount of money into the following season, which he's not even healthy for. Teams got to figure a way to make sure that they're protecting their organizations from being in a cap hell situation. And that's just the facts, dude. It's because the money's gotten so crazy, right? And it is what it is. What's Dante say? Tell me you ain't got a franchise QB without saying it. Oh. Well. All right. On the flip side of it, right? Tua and his camp have to protect themselves for if their guy does get hurt. It's in their best interest. If their guy can't play, what kind of guaranteed dollars are coming his way? And I think the biggest fight amongst the Dolphins right now and Tua Tagovailoa is the guaranteed at signing dollars. And then how the remaining guarantees, he's going to be able to hit the benchmarks. And I get it, right? You got to protect yourself. We're talking, there's a no way, shape, or form the Dolphins have offered a contract in which Tua gets $1 less than $100 million in new dollars. Now you're like, oh, it's only $100 million guaranteed. Well, no, $100 million in new dollars, meaning that $100 million fully guaranteed at signing plus the $23 million fully guaranteed at signing. In which case, Tua is looking at and probably put in a way where all of that money is earned no matter what in the first 4 years. So Tua is going to make $13 million in guaranteed at signing dollars, $13 million more than, was it 13? What did I say? One time? Yeah. Yeah. $13 million more than Jalen Hurts, which was $110 million guaranteed at signing. See what I'm saying? That's just, I can't imagine the Dolphins offering in a 4-year extension window $1 less than that. So, I mean, look, let me see if I can find the notes here. See if I can better. This isn't it. Hit the like button, everybody. Jeez, where the fuck did it go? Just want to get some of the year-by-year ordeal, right? Lamar Jackson landed it was $260 million deal that he got for a 5-year extension. But remember, only 195 of that is in guarantees, and he only got guaranteed at signing like 100. I forget what it was. It was like 130 million. Wasn't even that much. The guy who got the most guaranteed at signing in guarantees was Jared Goff, who got 170 guaranteed at signing. Or no, he got 140 guaranteed at signing, but the way the contract's written, there's no friggin' way he doesn't make all of his guarantees, and he has the team held hostage. You're going to have to rework the deal a year or so down the line. So, and friggin' Jared Goff got $73 million signing bonus, where like Joe Burrow got 40 and Trevor Lawrence, who signed after Jared Goff, got 37.5, I think. So yeah, here it is. Justin Herbert will earn $38.7 million a year in his first 5 years of this new 7-year deal, which the other 2 years are backloaded. And that's the kind of rate Joe Burrow is going to get, 42.1. And that's the type of rate the Dolphins are trying to essentially get. They're trying to get the deal in the market that they would have gotten if they signed Tua this time last year. That's what the Dolphins are doing. And Tua Tagovailoa and his people are saying, no, the new money deal is how much Goff got, how much, so-and-so got. And that's the type of money that they're trying to get. And they're holding the Dolphins' feet to the fire on this. And I'm wondering, where's it going to meet in the middle? Because right now it seems like both teams are dug in. Because leverage on the Dolphins side. I'm sorry, but the Dolphins possess all the leverage at this point on Tua Tagovailoa. The Dolphins have him for $23 million this year. They could franchise tag him for, say, a maximum of $46 million next year, meaning that the Dolphins are only on the hook in a 2-year sample size of $69 million. It's like $70 million, right? We'll call it $70 million. That's still only $35 million a year, which is less than the average of what Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence and most certainly what Dak Prescott and other guys like that are making in the years lining up, right? The 5th year, the 6th year in the new deal and beyond. So the Dolphins continue to maintain the leverage. Now that could change once camp begins, and it could change in this way, right? We're looking at what happens if Tua doesn't show up. Now, in the beginning stages of camp, it's more like drills and stuff like that. But you do want your projected starting quarterback to be there, tuning up the young guys, getting back in a groove with the wide receiving core. And, there's questions on the offensive line, and we got to see how these guys maneuver. Some of these guys haven't played with Tua. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have this timing right. And that's so big for the operations of this offense is the timing, as we all know. So it could begin to put a little bit of pressure on the team. But I wonder, right? What happens if Tua doesn't come? There's a couple of byproducts that are really going to be the point of conversation for myself that we're going to talk about around here. And don't worry, you're going to see everybody else steal these ideas now that I'm going to put them out there, but I don't give a shit, right? We're going to do the best talking points of these ideas. Number one, all the roster projections are in a spiral now because the Dolphins could find themselves needing to keep 3 quarterbacks because Tua Tagovailoa is hurting this football team by holding out and is costing them a position on the football team. Another position group, be it the wide receiving core, the offensive line, the DB room, the safety room, where we have questions in all these spots, the linebacker, the pass rushers. We're already on a skeleton crew already. I think we found some answers with Calais Campbell and stuff, but neither here nor there. Dolphins, we're going to have, say, a 53-man roster with only 2 quarterbacks on it. That was my projection. That should be your projection because if you're paying Tua $23 million and he's supposed to be the prove-it-year guy and or, worthy of a contract, you don't need 3 quarterbacks on this roster on your 53. You need that other player in another position group, but you can't do that if Tua isn't there come 53-man roster cuts. Ali, hello.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I see what you're saying. I agree to a point in regards to the roster may change or may be in limbo in certain cases. However, I don't think even if Tua's here or not, or has signed a contract or not, I really don't think we're holding on to 3 quarterbacks. Even if it's a question mark, if Tua's going to, let's say he's going to really hold out, a real holdout, which he doesn't even want to play, right? Until he gets a contract. Let's say that happens. This is why the Dolphins still have leverage. And it's because there are people out there that we could very easily, cheaply pick up without any problem to fit the need at the time. And let that be Garoppolo, who's making next to nothing in LA with the LA Rams, which we could very well spot them a 6th or a 7th round draft pick. I'm sure they'll take it, right? Let it be even Justin Fields, who's with the Steelers. He's making next to nothing there too. And they have Russell Wilson at the same time. That could be something as well. So I see what you're saying. I still think the Dolphins have leverage here, though.
I understand that they still maintain leverage because of the potential options. And dare I say it, Ryan Tannehill sitting out there.
Yeah,
I don't want him back.
Yeah.
I don't want him back, and I don't envision any scenario in which the Dolphins would ever bring him back, or even if Ryan Tannehill would agree to something like that, right? But there is other guys. I'll tell you who I would be interested in if there was a little bit of gamemanship, for lack of a better term. Go get me that Cincinnati kid that plays on the Bengals in the backup who got some playing time, that third stringer. What the fuck's his name? I can't remember his name. But Buddy was a gamer, dog. I like that kid. I like the way he plays football. Kid's a gamer.
Teams though, I think he went to a new team. I don't
Nope,
think
he's still with him. He's under contract. He's under contract with him this year and next year until he's like 30 years old. I say you sling them something because he's their third string. I like the guy. I've always liked him. Browning. Thank you, Dolphin.
Yeah, Browning. I like
Browning.
him too, to be honest.
Browning. Go give me that motherfucker.
The
dog.
names I named were just Band-Aids, bro. That's all it is for. It's a Band-Aid for a situation until they figure it out.
Well, but okay. I mean,
already has familiarity with the system. You know that. So that's why it's a definite go-to, in my opinion. Justin Fields, the only reason I'm looking at him is, one, he'd be super cheap. And two, it would be really interesting with his skill set, what he could do and what they could do with him. That's all I was saying. So
you gave me another idea that I'm going to do later on. I'll talk to you about it backstage. Continue.
But this is my opinion, man. I mean, if anybody is losing right now, it's the fan base, because the fan base is sitting there pulling their hair out, getting antsy, starting fights on Twitter. You know what I mean? Over this. They just need to get it done, bro. Whatever they decide. If we're moving on, fine, so be it. If we're not, sign the guy and get it over with. That's what I'm talking about.
So, listen, it could get ugly. And let's face it, Dolphins fans, we know what ugly looks like. We've seen plenty of it around these parts. We've seen uglier than a contract dispute. We've seen uglier than a player holding out. Okay? We've seen embarrassing things. Now, whether this is another embarrassing moment for the Dolphins or a long-term, no matter how it pans out, whether Tua plays and, the Dolphins never sign him and he goes off and plays somewhere else, and that's the embarrassing moment, whether the Dolphins fumble this whole thing and, spoil it with Tua and that's the embarrassing moment, or they pay him and cave and Tua, sucks and that's the embarrassing moment, or the latter. All one or any of these scenarios in success is yet to be seen, right? But
Mr. Polk with the Geno Smith, that's a possibility. I
know Geno Smith's is getting good money in Seattle. We ain't getting his ass.
But I don't know if they're sold on him, though.
Doesn't matter, bro. The money that they've paid him in guarantees and the dead cap they'd carry, even if they traded him, makes it impossible this year and next. I've already looked into it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
So, let's stay on the topic, obviously. What other pressures could Tua put on this football team? And things people aren't talking about. What will this do to Mike McDaniel? What kind of pressure does that put on him? Because I'm sorry, there isn't a time he ain't going to walk up to the podium and not get asked about what's up with Tua Tagovailoa. And now in the beginning, that'll be fine. But when does that wear on him? When does that make him a little sour? Does he get sour? Does he get sick of it? If he does, how does that work in relation to him and Tua's relationship?
That's true. This is the only head coach other than Flores he's had, and we've seen what a bad relationship looks like. This is a much better relationship. Are you really going to throw it down the drain with this? That's a good question.
And is Tua say, okay, is Tua willing to take it so far? Say, and now I'm just spitballing here, right? Say contracts completely break down on one, if not both sides. Okay. We don't have to blame one or the other. For whatever reason, the Dolphins aren't budging, and for whatever reason, Tua Tagovailoa isn't budging, and they go full lockdown. And now it's a good old fashioned, standoff. You can understand the business, but people are people, bro. Ain't nobody gonna be happy. And is Tua so secure? I mean, I feel like he is, right? With Mike White and Skylar Thompson as the potential guys to take his job on the roster currently. Do they step up and take it disrespect? Oh, he thinks I can't take his job. Like, how do they take it? What do they do? What if they come in and the team starts rallying behind someone else? What pressure does that counterbalance? It's a slippery slope for both sides, right? The team could come out and struggle. They could Mike White could go out there and fucking suck right away. Skylar Thompson comes in relief in the second half and is equally, if not worse. And now, the Dolphins embarrassingly lose to, say, the Jaguars week 1, get completely dog walked, which I don't see that happening no matter who's playing quarterback. But I could see us losing for sure. But I'm saying dog walked, right? Offense never clicks. Defense struggling, obviously, because new DC got a lot of new moving pieces, new scheme, all that good stuff. But the offense never shows up because Tua's not there. I'll tell you what, is Tua and his camp playing this now because they know that the team's success hinges on the offense right now, and Tua's team and Tua himself has zero threats. The Dolphins and company and people come out losing because they haven't worked it out with Tua financially. The fans aren't going to be happy. Now, that will go for 3-4 weeks. They start winning some games and, things start turning around. People could sour on Tua as well. But really, that's much less likely, right? It's much less likely that the team comes out firing on all cylinders without Tua back behind there. I don't care how decent Mike White is. I don't care how decent Skylar Thompson and his arm strength can be. If that was the case and they came out firing all cylinders without him, Tua and his camp better take whatever deal they got, because the next stage is that week 2 comes around and they put together 2 wins and the team is like, you know what? You take $23 million and deal with it, fucko. No deal. We'll see what happens at the end of this season. We'll talk to you next year. Maybe we'll franchise tag you. Maybe we won't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, man. I definitely see what you're saying. It's definitely a slippery slope. I was thinking about it. Even if he signs a deal, and depending on how long this takes, that can cause issues with not just the administration, but with the locker room and the rest of the roster. We've seen situations like this play out. I want to say, please remind me if I'm wrong, or let me know if I'm wrong. I want to say Russell Wilson had an issue similar to this when he was with Seattle in regards to a contract, something going on there. And I remember vaguely, like, he had issues with the rest of the team, and that's why it eventually led to them moving off of him.
What the issue was, Ali, is that when Russell signed his new deal, the first year after the deal was signed, they went to the Super Bowl and they lost. And next year they were in the playoffs, but they struggled. And then the following year, the money started hitting, and the team needed help. And they wanted Russell, everyone was kind of on the idea that we're going to get help on the football team. And all they did was take more away from the defense because they couldn't afford anything because Russell wouldn't go to the table. And then they got rid of him shortly the year after that, I believe it was.
Okay. All right. I knew it had something to do with money. I just couldn't remember. But I'm worried. That's part of my issue. I'm worried that the longer this takes, at what point are other players that are waiting for this deal to get through so they can get their deal? Are they going to be pissed? You know what I mean? And this can cause a very big conundrum, if you want to call it that. And that's what I'm worried about the longer that this takes.
So here's something that'll be interesting, right? And I talked about this a couple months ago. And to me, if Tua doesn't come to camp because the deal isn't, he holds out, right? Which I really don't see that happening personally. I could see that if he shows up to camp, comes a couple days, and then gives excuse absences, and then there starts stuff. We'll know when it starts sour because the team and the reports will come out that Tua's doing this and Tua's doing that. They'll show more clips of him not at practice and golfing and shit like that, unexcused absences. They'll play their game, but we'll know that'll be a signal that it's souring. But I think the biggest signal that I'm looking for of where the Dolphins and Tua's contract deal really goes sideways is if Tyreek Hill gets a new deal while Tua's really kind of back and forth with the team and it's not looking good, and then Tyreek Hill signs a deal. Like that's going to be a little something I'm looking at where I'm going to be like, maybe this team is ready to play hardball just like that, and it could get uglier, you know? Now, there is a way in which that new deal doesn't prevent anything, obviously, for Tua getting signed to an extension, because the way they can manipulate Tyreek Hill and Tua's cap. Plus, in 2026, the Dolphins have like 190 million or something stupid. They got hundreds of millions of dollars without the cap going up. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Every day that goes by and a deal isn't done gets closer to the narrative starting to write themselves, the speculation and the conspiracies behind it, as well as the bitterness on both sides. And how is that going to affect the people around them that are, team guys, but also have to worry about their own jobs? And I look no further to the embodiment of that calamity in how does Mike McDaniel handle this at the podium? Not at first. I'm talking if it's a week, 2 weeks, how's he start handling it then? Does he get a little bit more candid? Does he start mentioning some stuff? Does he start showing his frustrations with the organization or with the quarterback? Now, here it'll be interesting. Where does his allegiances lie? With the quarterback or with the organization? Obviously, one pays his paychecks, right? But we all know that, he wants to be successful as well. If he's pounding the table saying, if he loves Tua as much as they say he does, the sycophants out there anyhow, he should be pounding the table. I can't win without this quarterback. That's what he said when he got here, making all this tape, 700 fucking throws and bullshit. Is he pounding the table? Doesn't look like it to me.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it yet. It'll be very interesting about the language that he uses from once we see him on the podium. So later on, as the longer this drags out, does it change? Because I'm willing to bet it'll be like, oh yeah, that's something they're doing their due diligence, they're working on it. We would love to have him here, blah 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 blah, and everything, and whatnot, and all the good stuff, right? He'll give all the flowers, and then watch it end up being like, yeah, if a player he won't even say to his name, he'll talk like in
code,
in code, like, yeah. To be or not to be, that's the question, and if a player wants to be on the team, they'll be here, and we're going to put our big effort in, and well, that's the type of language you're going to hear when you start hearing that, it's bad.
So it's bad. Here's the thing with reporters and with a narrative that you want to, and this is human nature, this is psychology, this is anything you want to call it. Okay. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why reporters will repeat the same question that another one did because they didn't get any answer. And they'll repeat it like 4 or 5 of them will ask the same question. And Mike McDaniel can handle that for a week, but no one can handle it for 2 weeks. No one can handle it for 3 weeks. No one can handle it every friggin' time. And the whole team and every coach and every player is asking about it. Hey, what's up with Tua? What do you think? Man, that's business part of it. How many times can you give the canned answer before? And this is important, right? Listen to people because they're going to tell you. Listen, they're going to tell you in sales and business and dating and anything like that. Listen, because eventually people are going to tell you how they really feel, their true intentions, what's really on their mind. And they take lots of coaching and lots of stuff like that, but there's only so much before a person slips and the reality comes out. And that moment will happen if we find ourselves in this situation a month from now. That moment will be have happened or will be prepared to happen. Whether it's Tyreek Hill, who probably will be the first motherfucker to say something. Once the team, if somebody in the upper office in signing Tyreek Hill expresses how they wish it was this easy with Tua, you can bet everything in your ma that Tyreek Hill would say, well, I mean, he would slip up. Tyreek Hill would totally slip up. And the team probably wouldn't be too mad about it either, right? That's just it. So, and I seen Craig, right? What's up, Craig? Long time no see. Retro Roach. Is that what it is? What it do, Roach? D-Rod in here. What's good? CB TD83 in chat. Hello, TD83. Finn's takes with TD83. Hello. Black Sheep. Raph, my homie. What's good? CCRR creeping around these parts. Hit the like button, everybody, please. Anyhow, Craig said, I think Ross will step in. And you asked the question, will Ross step in? Is Ross really an ally to Tua Tagovailoa? Has Ross already stepped in? Think about what I'm saying here, everybody. Shout out to Mr. Pope. As he says, support, hit the button, like, share, donate, become a member, all that good stuff. Help us out, guys. Best thing you can do is hit the like button and share the video and help us get the subscribers up. Find out some more. So let's think about it, right? Let's just think about it a little bit. Is Stephen Ross an ally to Tua Tagovailoa? Now, we do know Moneybags, old man Moneybags. He loves to be the center of attention. Loves to go get that big price free agent. Loves to get called at the podium because he done cut a check and gets to sit there with the head coach on one side and the GM on the other and field questions, right? I'm putting you on mute, Ali. Field some questions, right? He loves that part. That's the dazzle. But Stephen Ross has been a good boy. Been a good boy. And it seems like under the Chris Grier administration, Stephen Ross has been the guy. Now, here's what's funny, right? All these fans that are hating on Chris Grier because he hasn't signed their favorite quarterback. I thought it was Chris Grier that chose this quarterback over the coach. Let me repeat that. I thought it was Chris Grier that got Brian Flores up out this bitch for Tua. I thought it was between pick me, Brian Flores, to run this so I can get rid of this quarterback and run this team, or Chris Greer, who planned this type of trajectory with this team right now and picked Tua Tagovailoa in the draft over Joe Burrow or over Justin Herbert, I might add, one pick before. I thought the exodus of Brian Flores and his peeps was the exodus in the belief of Tua Tagovailoa. They brought in the player coach, the lovey-dovey, to tell you everything's better, going to work on his confidence and make him the best version he can be. Mike McDaniel brought in for Tua Tagovailoa. Tyreek Hill, we're going to give him not only weapons. It's not just hashtag weapons for Tua. It's hashtag the best weapon in the motherfucking NFL for Tua. We're going to rework all of this running back room. We're gonna rework this offense. We're gonna get it in. We're gonna do this. Ain't gonna be no RPO nonsense no more. We're gonna get something. We gotta have something. Who is the one stopping this from happening? Well, Craig, I think it is Stephen Ross. I think Stephen Ross has put a cap on not the money, because I don't think he gives a shit about the money, but I think he's learned about wasting money and learned about when it's time to do something or not do something. And it's odd to me, Chris Greer is driving this ship, but still has to answer to Ross. And it seems to me that, look, Ross has all the money in the world, right? You know what he doesn't have? All the time in the world. Which at this point, for a guy who's as rich as Ross, his time is more valuable than the money he can buy things with at this point. And it looks like to me, he wants a little bit more time to decide on more money for a quarterback. He has seemed to have buyer's remorse since day one. Since before we drafted him. In a COVID 2020 year, that was hard to get player evaluation. Wanted to go all the way up and get Joe Burrow. Got Tua, dealt with it, happy. There was a lot of talk about people wanting Justin Herbert. Created some dissension. There was also Jordan Love, yada, 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 whatever. Anyhow, what happens that next year? They want to get Tom Brady. What happens the next year? They want to get Deshaun Watson. Or no, wait, it was the other way around. It was Deshaun Watson, then Tom. Who knows? There's just so many quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Tom Brady, fucking Joe Burrow. Everybody every year, except for this year, is the first time unanimously the Dolphins aren't actively blowing kisses. So no wonder they have commitment problems. They haven't been committed to this guy since the jump. And begs the question, which Greg Cote wrote an article the other day, which I find very, on point, because he's really just illustrating what I talked about last Sunday, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before last, about the Dolphins not being committed to Tua. And haven't shown me that they are. And they've continued to be at the same energy that they've been. That's why the title of the show is the title of the show. They want to give him a promise ring. They don't want to be tied down and marry. They still want to move in together. They still want to get a dog. They still want to put bills in their name. Fuck, you might even shop for a car together and we can drive the same, I'll co-sign on a car for you, baby. I love you, girl. I love you too, girl. I'm willing to sign this year lease with you, girl. I love you. Here's my promise ring. I don't want to have kids right now. I'm just not ready for that. There's some things I want to do in my life. I get that I'm, on the wrong side of 30 and probably should have had kids, but let's wait one more year. Just one more year. Let's get through this year of the lease. But I'm willing to do the big things. I'm willing to buy a car with you. I'm willing to, like I said, get a dog. We're going to have all these bills in our name. I'm going to let you, girl, I love you so much. I'm going to let you hold on to my credit card. I got extra credit card just for you. Love you. Not willing to, I don't want to get married just yet. I'm just not ready for that kind of commitment. Some girls are like, well, fuck you. We've been dating 2 years. We've been, we just got a place together. You got to make an honest woman out of me. I want babies. Well, I'm sorry. I don't know about y'all, but when a girl starts trying to force me into a marriage or trying to have some kids, my fucking red flag meter starts going, whoa, 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 whoa. I thought you loved me, not what I can give you. Tua, why don't you love me? Why's it got to be what I can give you? What have you given me? I get it. I've been checking out other girls. I got rid of that friend that hated you, though. Remember my friend Brian? He hated you. We don't even hang out no more. He used to be my best friend. We don't even hang out no more. I chose you over my best friend. Isn't that enough? Can't the promise ring and the car and the dog and the shared lease agreement be enough, Tua? Why's it got to be more than that? Yes, I got commitment problems because the last one I was really committed to, not only did I get a divorce, but they had to go seek therapy afterwards, and I lived like a fucking bum on the beach in a shitbox for the next couple of years. I'm not interested in a second divorce, to Alina. I'm not. I'm willing to commit. I'm just not willing to put myself in a bad position because I've been hurt before. Don't you love me enough? How was that for acting?
That's pretty good, El Cap. I will say we know the answer to that, though.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is no, you don't love Tua enough. And the reality of it is the Miami Dolphins have been emotionally cheating on Tua the entire time. Think about it. All the names of the quarterbacks you mentioned, right? All the whispers, oh, we're going to have this secret meeting behind the back, right? It's all emotionally cheating.
Listen, I get it, babe. Okay. I met my ex. I went, set it up, met my ex. We went out on a cruise, spent money I shouldn't have spent. I thought we were past this, boo. I thought we were past this. The boat was like 3 years ago. Are you going to always hold that against me? Go ahead, Tua.
Well, I mean, look at the treatment you gave Waddle. Waddle's face was everywhere in the media. You had expose photos of Waddle with the president, Garfinkel, at the F1 races.
Babe, Waddle's your best friend. I'm just trying to do right by you. That's your best friend. You hang out with them every day. You've known that. You've been best friends since college. I thought I was doing you a favor.
Well, it's about me. That's what
it's about you. Exactly. This is my point. What about us? What about us?
Well, one thing is for sure. Does Tua know his calculus, which means you plus me equals us? So does he know his calculus? That's the question. Oh, my God. That was funny.
Thank you, Kelvin. I worked real hard on this impromptu analogy and trying to finish it up here with Ali, because I feel like it's really hitting home. Because
I am really starting to wonder, not Tua. I'm sorry. I'm really starting to wonder, though. Like, I know, like all the bigwigs and the media, like everybody at ESPN and thinks this deal is going to get done, but I'm really starting to think that it's not going to happen, bro. I really think we're going to move on. And I'll tell you.
Wait a second, babe. Hold on. You're talking about this ain't going to work? You're talking about this isn't going to work? I'm trying to make it work. I just bought you a brand new Lexus. I'm willing to give it to you. You're not accepting my gift. I'm I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I'll take you out to great
All I can
places.
tell you is that you should.
I changed. I changed. I don't know if you remember, but every year or so, I was, flirting. You know this. First of all, you weren't my first choice in high school. You always liked me, but I liked Joe Burrow instead. And but I did the right thing. I went with the wholesome Christian girl in this scenario that I felt was the better look for me and, calm me down. There was some fuck ups, right? I went and met an old ex Tommy Brady and on a boat. Should have never done that, but that was years ago. And granted, getting massages from Deshaun Watson was also not the smart move on my side. But I gotta say, listen, I winked at Lamar Jackson. That's it. Who wouldn't? She's stunning. Okay. But if I was going to give anyone the money Lamar wanted, it would be you, babe. But I'm not willing to give that to him. And I'm not willing to put that analogy 100% because I've already been divorced. I've got child support payments. If we get married and this falls apart, I'm not gonna make it back. And you got to understand that, right? I'm willing to commit to you in this broader way, in a more serious manner. I'm willing to give you a promise ring, and the promise is that if you let this slowly go, we'll be married anyhow.
Well, you're asking for me to marry you with a prenup, and I don't think Tua is in the position to want to sign a prenup.
Listen, babe, you're right. There is a prenup, but I have to protect myself, and it's not that I don't trust you. I trust you.
Yourself. What about protecting me?
Well, babe, I mean, did you read the prenup? Did you even look at it?
Look at it this way. You want me to put everything and give it to you all, right? You keep calling me babe and promises here.
Don't act like you're not a dirty slut. Don't act like you're not a dirty little whore now. Don't act like you haven't done all the nasty things you've done. Don't take no bullshit ass high road with me, woman.
Hey, first of all, talk about protection. I'm the one that needs protection. You guys can't even get me an offensive guard if your life depended on it.
I've been guarding that backside for a minute now, Bay, and you know
just
it.
Now, recently, you decide you want to draft some left tackles or right tackles, and you think that's going to fix everything. No, it's not.
Listen, bottom line, I'm trying to
take away the prenup, and then I'll think about it, because that's exactly what he's going to do. He'll think about it at that point.
Well, I don't like your fucking attitude at this point, because I've been pretty fucking good.
You don't have to like
You're only hearing your fucking side of the story, not my side.
I know the bad boys of the West Coast, the Vegas Raiders, will give me $500 million guaranteed.
Oh, you want to be a dirty little Raider girl now, don't you? That's what you're gonna don't. You want to go hang out and fucking be a gangbanger all of a sudden and run on the streets and be and all that just because they're gonna put you up with some cheap ass fake fucking Las Vegas jewelry? I ain't stupid. You be cooking meth in no time without me, woman.
I just thought of something very funny, but it's widely inappropriate for the show. I can't do it. I'm sorry, Hellcap, I can't do it.
Listen, we're kind of off the fucking. We're kind of off the fucking.
Oh man,
kind of off the reservation again. I think everyone's really getting the analogy, right? I think everyone's really picking up what I'm putting down.
Do you really think that Tua cares about you? He's saying, what about us fans? They don't care. Tua can give two shits about his
and that's my point.
All that matters is what's in his wallet. That's all that matters.
That's right, Cap for life. Tua doesn't care about the kids. I care about the kids. I'm more worried. Here's the deal. I've got kids in this relationship, and I'm thinking about how my kids could get hurt by this next step you have pretty much given me an ultimatum about. And I've gotten together what I believe to be absolutely reasonable to meet you in the middle at this ultimatum, where I can give you the commitment that I know you deserve. You've put up with plenty of my shit, right? You've put up with plenty of my shit. And there's been some unfaithful times early on, but these last 2 years has been us, babe. We've been on a good rock. And I'm sorry, but I've got kids that I got to worry about. And I can and want you to be a mother to them, but you're not even considering how I have to protect not just myself, but me. It's all about you, girl. And I don't know if this is going to work out, because I don't like the way this fucking is going. Be honest with you. I don't like how selfish you're fucking turning out to be. See how I flipped that on him? That's how I win, ladies.
Damn, you don't have the GIF I wanted to use, or the meme.
Oh, I don't know.
Right when you said, when you were telling it's all about you and everything, I was going to use the one. Oh, here it is.
Right, bitches?
Mm-hmm.
You're funny. Oh, man. This is nasty work, man.
Cat for Life goes, stop fighting, running to my BMX mongoose bike outside. I don't like fighting in front of the children. Don't make me. Look what you make me do.
All 53 of them.
All right. Yeah, guys. And what's your best friend who married into my family gonna say? Mike McDaniel, who's essentially my brother-in-law. That's your best friend, but is married to my sister, right? Is he going to choose family over friendship when it comes to this scenario? When it gets to two, now I'm sure in the beginning, like a good friend, you're like, listen, you gotta just bite the bullet. Just bite the bullet. And you're like, listen, I just need more time. And I got to see how this kind of plays out. And then the girl starts, well, I'm moving back with my mom. I'm going to go. It's like, whoa. We were cruising. We were together. We were happy. But because I won't be forced into a committed relationship that I can't, I don't feel comfortable with at this time, you're gonna go back and live with your mom. You're gonna make me suffer to know what life is without you. That's how you're gonna do me like that right now. You're gonna essentially want me to fail without you to prove how much I need you. And therein lies my fucking issue. Love ain't about need. It's about love. When you're talking about marriage and you're talking about fiscal, marriage of a franchise wife quarterback, it's got to be about a little bit of love, right? Got to be about a little. Yeah, that LL Cool J type of love. That's what I'm saying, guys. I think Tua is worthy of the Lexus, of us moving into a bigger, newer place together, us getting a dog, us, signing up for some really expensive jet ski that neither one of us have any business buying right now, but we trust each other enough and love each other enough to sign and co-sign and be financially tied up. And, just not willing to sign over the rest of my shit, half of it, for the rest of my life because you want to be vindictive. And because I'm not willing to do that and you be vindictive before I even sign, proves my motherfucking point, doesn't it? Proves my point that if this is how you gonna act. Now, I'm not saying that there can't be a little tiff. You fucking storm out of the house. You go and stay at your mom's house, your friend's house a couple of nights. And then we might need to talk a little bit and work on do some couples counseling. And you know what? Maybe over some time when we find the miscommunication in our relationship, we can then, go ahead and go, okay, you know what? You say, you know what? I think this is fair. And I look at it and I go, I think you're right that this little bit more, or what I offered you was fair, or maybe I was wrong all along. And I love you, girl. And I want to I want all your babies. Some shit, right? I don't fucking know. But the relationship is heading into a rocky road, to say the least. And could the Dolphins call up Old Faithful? That that chick when you struck out all night at the club, always answers the phone at 3 a.m. She's not homely. She's good enough. But, she is what she is. The Ryan Tannehill, right? You call up her. You call up Jimmy G Spot. You call up old Jimmy G Spot. You know what I'm saying? Do you upset the relationship enough that you allow that type of infidelity? Is that something that is it going to make the Dolphins do something that couples therapy won't fix? Will Tua Tagovailoa, move to his mom's house and unleash the dreaded mother-in-law on me to go ahead and burn this bitch down? That shit happens. The athlete's first mother-in-law burns this bitch to the ground. This is soured. We're entering the market. We're looking to 2025. We're gonna be a free market. Getting on your fucking Facebook posts, posting fucking some weird sunset you took a picture of, saying off to my next great journey. Some bullshit. Some fucking newly fucking whatever. And Finn's take TD83. I'm sure he's gonna be there that first day, because we had already booked those tickets, right? That's the pinnacle. We're supposed to go and have dinner at my parents' house. You got to do me this one, right? And she holds out hope that going to that first day of camp at mom and dad's house for dinner is going to get through to you how much you do need me. And you're just going to sign those papers. We're going to take the plunge, baby. But if and when it doesn't happen, that's when the spitefulness comes. That's when I did you this last favor. I can't believe I even went to that. I'm fucking cooking right now, buddy. I'm fucking cooking. I'm entering the market. You're on mute, Ali.
The question is, whose mother-in-law shows up first?
Okay.
Will it be Tua's mother-in-law, or
Tua's mother-in-law, the athlete's first, or who's the Dolphins' mother-in-law?
Ooh, that is a good question.
Because the best friend that married into the family is Mike McDaniel, who is the Miami Dolphins' quote-unquote mother-in-law.
That is a good question.
It's got to be Chris Greer, right? Like, he's the one that burns that bitch to the ground. Chris Greer's got to be the mother-in-law.
That's true.
The one that the actually in this scenario, it might be more fitting that Chris Greer is the stoic, potentially ex-military, old school, old-timey fucking father-in-law that demands not only that you ask his daughter's hand in marriage, but meet his requirements as what he believes is a man worthy of his daughter. That might be more of what Chris Greer's role is. And that could be, yes, that guy that ruins it all.
What about this name? And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because it's crazy with all the contracts that were being handed out to wide receivers. This one seemed to go through so quickly under the radar that it's surprising a little bit. What about the president of the Dolphins? Garfinkel.
Garfinkel. I mean, whatever. I mean,
no, the only reason I'm bringing it up is because you think about it. He was the face that was next to Waddle in all the photos and everything. It wasn't Mr. Ross. It wasn't Chris Greer. If you go back to that week where he was signed, all the photos before and after was him and Garfinkel everywhere. So I'm wondering if maybe he's really the mother-in-law holding that check.
Maybe. I don't think he's the one stopping this deal from being signed, but in the scenario in which we're, looking for cast members, for lack of a better term, maybe. I don't foresee him as the dark horse mother-in-law to spoil the relationship.
Yeah.
Not like how Athletes First easily fits into that scenario.
I hear you. It's just I don't know. I don't know if the Dolphins really have a true mother-in-law to use in this scenario. That's why I was curious.
That's why I was more putting as the father-in-law, stoic, overprotective with his daughter, and a high standard that is unrealistic for any man to meet. But I don't think that scenario works either for what we're talking about.
You remember the movie Meet the Fockers? Do you remember that movie?
Of course. That's who I'm kind of getting at, dog, right there. Listen here, fucker.
On this. Oh man.
Only likes the ex-boyfriend. Only likes the boyfriends when they become ex-boyfriends and shit. Yeah. Again, it's going to be an interesting deal. And we're going to see this reality TV play out in front of us, and everyone's going to hide behind, coaching of what they're supposed to say in the media, and everyone's going to be on a fucking full-time gag order. At some point, if a divorce is impending, or it looks like it's something that could happen, or, there's threat of a breakup, that's when, some of the allies, the friends, the football team, and coaching staff alike are going to be asked to come to their party and not the other party instead. There's going to be dates that line up in a manner where, I'm over here, Miami Dolphins. I'm having a tailgate cookout. I get that, Tua Tagovailoa's having a pool party and a movie at his house in his home theater, but you said you were coming to my cookout. And now all the friends are in this awkward, all the players are in this awkward situation where they like both of you. They loved it when you all were together because then it doesn't, make it so weird. But now it's getting weird. Now it's getting weird. And typically everyone loses friends in breakups like that. So it is an interesting way to look at it. And, there is, again, like Greg Cote's article that he wrote, saying the Dolphins have disrespected Tua all the way long. Is it anything new out of me, right? This is what you've come to expect. Are you going to make me pay because of what happened? Are you going to make me pay for the past? That's a great question, right? Because in Greg Cote's article, he implies that the Dolphins have disrespected Tua Tagovailoa his entire career with looking at other quarterbacks, and now with the final and most disrespectful act of all, not putting a ring on his finger and wanting a prenup and a promise ring and, to try making big purchases and moving in together before we commit to a lifelong marriage of having children and starting a family together. And my point is that what'd you expect? Color?
Man, I wasn't going to come up, but I just got pissed off enough to come up and say something.
All right, let's hear it.
Like, why is respect or disrespect even in anybody's calculus on either side of this negotiation?
Is that rhetorical?
No, I'm asking a question because, like, when I'm buying a product from somebody and they're trying to sell it to me, and then I decide okay, fine, maybe their product's good, maybe whatever, but I don't want to pay the price that that want to charge me for the product, and I say no, and I look other places while I'm holding them, saying, hold on a second, I want to go down the road and check another mechanic. You know what I mean? That's disrespect. And then I come back and I say, hey, I decided not to go with you. Thanks though. Your price is a little too steep for me. And that's disrespect?
So no, because in that scenario, no. But we're talking about like you bought a state-of-the-art shovel, right? Ain't nothing wrong with this shovel. It works great. But you're a fucking shoveler. You like shoveling. So you've been trying out other shovels.
Well, you poisoned the well, though. You said it was a state-of-the-art shovel. That remains to be seen.
Oh, shit. Talking about... Okay. Now we're getting off of it.
But that's my point, though. If I decide in the end that ain't the product I want for the money, how is it disrespect to go down the road?
It's not.
We're taught to do that. Like, if you're not doing that, you're not buying right.
Well, Color's taking it to more of an item where we were more in a family setting, and I can understand your point, right? If we're talking strictly in business dollars and binary, the Dolphins aren't doing their job if they're not always looking to get better. The problem is this, right? Because feelings is involved, we see what the Dolphins have always done. They talk to Tom Brady. They want Joe Burrow. They talk about and actively try to get Deshaun Watson. They talk to Lamar Jackson. And every time they get caught texting other girls or some shit, they then surround themselves with ugly chicks to not threaten the girl that they're still dating, right? And ugly chicks being, Teddy Bridgewater, fucking Mike White, and Skylar Thompson. And bad bitches, right? Day ones, but none of them are, they're all 5'6", 4 5s and 6s, while Tua's a solid 8, but wants you to treat her like a 10. And that sounds super disrespectful when I listen to myself say all that, because it's, but the deal is this: we're talking about a marriage here. And, are we lowering our standards with Tua Tagovailoa as our marriage partner? And the Dolphins, say what you want, right? Say what you want. The Dolphins are willing to be committed, but they're not willing to marry, and they're not
right. Because remember what the teams that are successful in all sports. What is the motto? Don't get married to a player.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's why teams are. I mean, look right now. You know who just got married?
Jacksonville.
Yes and no. Jacksonville, they got engaged and they bought all this nice stuff, and they're in a long-term relationship for the foreseeable future. But the reality is, when you look at that deal, and Ali, you're still on mute. That when you look at that deal, Jacksonville wrote a great prenup.
That's what I was about to say.
Right.
They wrote a great prenup on that marriage. You know who's fucking lock, stock, and barrel married, shotgun wedding style, and everything. They're popping out kids. They're on their third kid, and they just got engaged. Is the fucking Lions? Right. They married Jared Goff. They got Jared Goff takes the house, the pool, the dog, the kids, and your manhood when Jared Goff leaves the relationship up there, and so you are committed, and that's the type of commitment that Tua and his people want. They want the Miami Dolphins to be held over a barrel in this relationship where they don't have to think about anything for the next 6 years.
Well, let me make the point this way. Are Tua and athletes first married? because I've never heard a player who's fired 3 agents, not that Tua has, but other players have. They go through agents. When they don't get them their deal, they're fired. Nobody ever sits here and goes, talks about the disrespect to the agent. You know how many times Drew Rosenhaus has been disrespected in his career? That's a rhetorical question.
So I will say this, Color. I would say that, to stay on topic, since Tua started hanging around these new friends of Athletes First, she's acting all kinds of brand new around here, demanding higher standards.
Right.
Bitching about my weight, bitching about me smoking.
If we don't do the deal, who are we disrespecting? The people we're interfacing with, or Tua?
Well, a bit of both. A bit of both, Color. A bit of both.
Disrespect Athletes First, and Tua feels disrespected for that. Then he needs to find it's his agent that did him the disservice, not us.
It's not, Color, because Tua's clique, Athletes First, they love and respect, and they're there, saying, girl, you deserve better, and he needs to treat you better. And look how I whipped my man into shape. He quit smoking, quit hanging out with the boys. He don't fucking
what's he talking about? He's got 2 hoes laying on the street, ain't got paid yet either.
Yeah, but that's because they're a tight clique. They got 2 hoes. I like that, with fucking Dak Prescott and fucking
three if you count Javon Holland.
Yeah, they ain't doing they bitches right, dog. Now,
the guy that got paid is the guy grabbing everybody's balls.
Is Athletes First a dirty old pimp and got these girls? It got them all in their head, tricking them out.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they got the money for the guy that grabs everybody's balls.
Wilkins.
Oh. Well, I mean, you got to pay extra usually for that, Color.
That netted an extra $4 million at least, huh?
Fuck yeah, dog. What you mean, dog? You usually got to pay extra for that. So, I had fun with this analogy. I just want to say, because this topic's going to come up 15,000 times. And as you guys can see, we're ready for the topic in all ways in which it could spiral, good, bad, indifferent. Maybe they don't get engaged or get married or fucking get a promise ring, but they keep everything in-house and keep their business locked behind closed doors, and we never get to know what's really going on behind there until the skeletons come pouring out of the closet. I would think that it would be Tua's clique, piping up for their fucking homie, saying that, Tua's man ain't treating him right, ain't committing to him, ain't changing, still going out on Friday and Saturday nights. It's immature, and they need to grow up and make an honest woman out of Tua Tagovailoa. But maybe they don't. Maybe they, maybe Tua and his camp, quiet up, and maybe the Dolphins and him find a way at some point in the season. But I will say this, and this is what we'll end on, is the holdout and anything and everything that happens after it will tell the tale of how, is it enough pressure to get the Dolphins to cave, or is it the relationship becomes soured and, there's no coming back from it, where if the holdout goes into the season and beyond, it's getting real close. Whether the Dolphins find, success with or without him, they're going to get back out there in the dating pool no matter what, because it only proves the point of not wanting to be locked down in a relationship because you don't want to lose control of your life to someone who obviously wants to control it rather than walk hand in hand.
Wow, that sounds strikingly familiar, but I'll keep quiet.
So, yeah, guys, thanks for coming through. Go back, watch this episode. It was all over the fucking place. And especially after the 1 hour mark, it really took a uptick for something else. But,
right, bitches?
Am I right?
What happened? Do I got to go back and watch?
Oh, Color, you got to go right back at the 1 hour mark. Because we did some different stuff.
Was there a difference of opinion
Oh, Color, you missed. You got to go back and watch it.
You got to go back and watch, dude. I'm not even gonna joke. It's fucking
all the
great.
good stuff happen when I'm napping, man?
Stay backstage, and I'll tell you some stuff that I was gonna say that I didn't.
All right. Oh shit. All right, guys, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. Are the Dolphins, should they just bite the bullet, make an honest woman out of Tua Tagovailoa? Or, has this relationship had a rocky road, and we still need some maturing to do, not just you, but me as well. And, I'm afraid that if we rush into this situation, that no one's going to be happy come the end of it. So interesting. We don't want another Tannehill situation on our hands. That divorce not only was bad, but everyone needed therapy afterwards. And nobody wants that.
Some people get remarried,
Well, it happens. It happens, and we found one we really like and love.
A lot of people go back to their ex for a week or two just to see if there was any spark left.
So hit the like button, leave a comment at the end of the video in the comment section, not in the live feed, and let us know what you guys think. Fins up.